there is only one consciousness, one single undifferentiated consciousness in verse 1. Now let's see what verse 2 has to say about it. Verse 2 says, Kurvan eva karmani jijivishe chatam sama evam tvai nanyathe tosti na karma lipyate nare. Live 100 years recognizing the sacred nothingness in action and nothingness at rest. For only then does karma leave no trace. That's how I translate it. You have to recognize both the nothingness in action and the nothingness at rest. For example, this picture behind me is depicting the waking state. In the waking state, just a minute, it's the incorrect picture. This picture behind me is depicting the waking state. In the waking state, there are people, houses, whatever little religion and spirituality you follow, all your office work, the source of your wealth. There is the social life where you have fun with your friends. And then you have a personal life where you have certain relationships. This entire gamut of waking, all this is consciousness in action. Being very clear about it. Being very clear about it. Yeah, I'll give you a little example. It's not so pretty example where somebody said that, oh, I am God. And in those days, this is a story of yesteryears, where it was considered blasphemous to say, I am God. So they did not like it, and the people tried to bring him down and convince him that, no, you are not God. Please proclaim that you are not God. And he said, oh, I know even you are God. You are only fooling me. What he meant to say is that I see only consciousness. I don't see anything else. Yeah? It's just a story depicting what this verse is saying. You don't have to say it in words, oh, this is consciousness. You don't have to get up and say to your spouse, I know your consciousness in motion. You don't have to go to office and say to your boss, oh, I know your consciousness in motion. No. Nobody is asking you to do that. It's a simple recognition that this is a projection of my desire. And who's this my? Who's this me? I am the consciousness at rest. I got bored with my rest. In rest there is nothingness, no? Emptiness. I got bored with this emptiness. And I projected somethingness. This somethingness that I have projected is born of my desire. My, again, consciousness at rest. It is my desire. Knowing this is very important. Or whatever is happening right now in my family, this is born of my desire. Beware, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, both are your desires, huh? Both. When you say, oh no, I don't want this bad thing to happen to my family member, I don't want this bad thing to happen, I don't want this bad thing to happen, I don't want is a desire, right? Yeah. Do you realize whatever you give your energy to, that projects, that manifests in the waking world? Then how can you call this waking world real? Isn't it a figment of your own imagination? Didn't you just make it happen? Yeah? This recognition is key. This recognition will happen only when you recognize that I am the witness of the waker. I am not the waker. The waker cannot project a desire. I hope that is very clear. The waker itself is the projection of the witness's desire. I hope that is very clear. So now we understand, okay, there is something called projection and the witness is projecting. So let me go one step beyond. What happens to this witness? This is the nothingness of Turiya. There is absolutely no masala there, no spice, very bland, boring, empty. In Brahman itself, that is bland, boring and empty, a desire arises. A desire is nothing but a thought. The desire to know oneself, the desire to experience itself. Brahman itself has the desire to experience itself. And just from that desire to experience itself, a recognition comes up. I am, but I don't know what I am. I am. I exist. So now I'll stop there. Do you recognize there is a sense of existing beyond this waker? Can you feel that sense of existing within? It is not in words. Is this that sense of being here and now? Do you recognize that? That is jijiviksha. Sanskrit term. It means the desire to exist. And that projects this feeling of I am. Again, Ekta is using the words, the feeling of I am. There is no strong feeling and no words I am there. Do you recognize this? It is just that sense of existing. Do you recognize the sense of existing? That is jijiviksha. That is used in the verse in the first line. Jijivikshechatam samaha. Here you might have the desire to live, say 100 years. It's just given as an example in this. But understand, what is that jijiviksha? Can I recognize it in my direct seeing? It's pointless to memorize this verse. Can I see what the sage sees? And what does he see? He sees the sense of existing, the jijiviksha. That is the sense of I am that appears in Brahman. So this is the first projection. I exist. But it doesn't know the answer. Who am I? Or what am I? Is that very clear? There is no answer to that question. So Brahman decides to project something to find its answer. So it projects a dream world. On this side, I have all pleasant dreams, playing with friends, flying in the sky, being with a partner, going on a dream vacation, seeing a friendly ghost who helps you around, being a mermaid or whatever, or riding the moon. All these, you have these pleasant dreams, but they don't make sense. They're all garbled. They may be visual, they may be verbal. You just have some pleasant dreams. On the other side, we have unpleasant dreams. You go and read Harry Potter, you suddenly start seeing Dementors or Voldemort everywhere. You go and watch some dragon movie, you start seeing dragons everywhere, you start seeing witches everywhere. You watch some horror movie, what happens to you? You see a skeleton sitting in your bathroom. Or you read some weird book and you start thinking that you are turning into a tree. So all these are figments of imagination. Do you realize this? I'm explaining these for a reason. Do you understand this is only a figment of imagination? Do you realize each of this is born of your desire or aversion, craving or aversion. Do you get it? All pleasant dreams are born of my craving. All unpleasant dreams are born of my aversions. Do you recognize this? Raga and Dvesha. Yeah. I, the witness, project my own desires. And I see those desires. Those desires appear in some form and they disappear. After they disappear, can you say that the witch was born, it existed in my dream and it died? Can you speak like that about the witch that came in the dream? No. Can you speak like that about the ghost in your bathroom? That the ghost was born, it existed, and now it has died? No. It was never born. Do you understand? Never born? Yeah. That is the meaning of the word ajata. I'm teaching you at the ajatavada level. Ajata. Ajata means never born. Yeah, so Brahman's projections are only born of the desire of Brahman to find its own identity. Hence it projects the sense of I am. That sense of I am projects dream world, whether pleasant or unpleasant doesn't matter. It does not find satiation in any of the dream characters, and hence it projects a stronger, more gross waking world. But the waking world also appears and disappears. Do you recognize this? Moment to moment it has disappeared. Do you recognize whatever I spoke in the verse 1 has been wiped away now? How many of you see what I am saying? Yeah? It has been completely wiped away. It might be there in your notes, but it is not there in the now. Do you recognize this? Yeah? If I tell you, okay, what is the first verse, tell me, you will not be able to say it even. Yeah? Do you see it? It gets wiped away constantly. Now, this was an hour ago. A minute ago. Or 10 minutes ago, when I started this verse 2, what was the first sentence I said? See, it has been wiped away. Okay, what was your own personal thought? Forget what Ekta said. What was your thought 5 minutes ago? See, it is wiped away. Do you understand that there is a wiper of the now that is constantly wiping away everything that appears and disappears? It is constantly wiping away everything that appears. It seems that Ekta is continuous. Is Ekta continuously there? You see Ekta and suddenly you hear your son or daughter's sound from the other room. That time Ekta is not there. Yeah? You see the phone ringing. You hear the phone ringing. That time Ekta is not there. The son's voice is not there. Do you recognize this? Moment to moment to moment, the wiper of the now is wiping away everything. What is this wiper of the now? It is the consciousness at rest. Into it, consciousness in motion, whatever, Ekta's voice, the child's voice from the other room, the phone ringing, the thought that came up, everything gets wiped away, back into consciousness at rest. Are you able to see this? This is the meaning of recognize nothingness in action and nothingness at rest. Recognize both. It is happening consistently, constantly, relentlessly, ceaselessly. Yeah? Even the sight of Ekta is not continuous. Even the sound of Ekta is not continuous. Yeah? If you've not experimented on this, I will request the volunteers to post a self-inquiry on sight, sound, smell, taste and touch. that I've done in Atmanirvriti. So maybe the others can come up to speed. Where you recognize that, oh, arisings just appear and disappear like the dream ghost. They constantly appear and disappear, appear and disappear, appear and disappear. Just like for the dream ghost, I cannot say it was born. Like that only for this arising called the father, the mother, the son, the daughter, I cannot say they were born or they died. That, when you come to that seeing, you have seen what the sage sees. Yeah? This world was never born. Never born. It is only a product of my desire. My means again, I am the consciousness at rest. I desire to know myself and I project something. That somethingness appears and disappears, appears and disappears, appears and disappears. That which appears and disappears cannot be said to be existing continuously. And that which cannot be said to be existing continuously cannot be said to be born. Ajata, unborn. Hope I clarified that. Yes. That is the way you are supposed to recognize consciousness at rest and consciousness in motion. Anything that is in motion is wiped away by the rest. Anything that is in motion is again wiped away by the rest. As if you have a wiper on the car, dashboard of your car, and then you have these drops, raindrops falling on it, and the wiper comes and wipes it off. Again, drops falling on it, and the wiper comes and wipes it away. Exactly like that. Exactly like that. Can I see this waking right here, right now? Moment to moment, everything gets wiped away. Nothing is permanent. Buddha said, nothing is permanent. Anicca. This is what he's meaning to say. He's meaning to convey to you, see it in your direct experience. Everything is getting wiped away. Yeah? And then you'll start going deeper and you'll recognize, oh, at one time there is only one raindrop. At least on the windshield of your car, you'll see a zillion drops, and those zillion drops get wiped away together. Yeah, once you dive deeper into direct seeing, you'll see, oh, it's actually one raindrop and one wiper. One raindrop and one wiper. What do I mean by one raindrop? There is only one projection. Suddenly there's the feeling, I am this body. A body arising appears. A body arising is nothing but the sense of heaviness, consolidation, the feeling of being solid. It wasn't there till Ekta spoke about the body. Suddenly it has appeared. Do you realize it? Till this time I was not talking about the body. Yeah, you were just interested in the knowledge. There was nobody here. Do you realize it? Yeah. And suddenly somebody has appeared here because she spoke about the body arising. Do you recognize when there is the thought, there is no body. When there is the body, there is no thought. Yeah? Similarly, when there is the body, there is no feeling. When there is the feeling, there is no body. So start recognizing it's only one arising in any given instance, one projection. I'm going one level deeper than what we've done at Gurukul level. And arising is nothing but a projection. There is one projection projected out of one desire, either a craving or an aversion. One projection in any given moment, and that manifests and that is immediately wiped away. Yeah, so now it has become clear the body-mind itself is a projection. Yeah, I just gave you the example of the body arising, the feeling arising, and the thought arising. Yeah, so this itself is a projection. So how can this not be a projection? Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. This world is nothing but sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Yeah. I want to smell, therefore I smell. I want to see, therefore I see. I want to hear, therefore I hear. I want to experience texture, therefore I experience touch. Everything is born of a desire. There's only one desire in any given instance. As you dive deeper into Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, you'll see this desire links back to only that one desire of Brahman. One desire. I am, but I don't know what I am. There is no answer. That's why this slide is in black. There is no answer. I know I exist, but I don't know who or what I am. This exact same feeling, exact same sense of being but not knowing who you are is there in the moment the I comes out of the deep sleep. I am, but I don't know who I am. Do you recognize this? This exact feeling is what the sage sees. And that's why he's written this verse. Can I see this too? It's born of this jijiviksha. I know I am, but I don't know who or what I am. And therefore, I project a desire. Yeah? First, desires are projected only as, could I be this? And that this manifests as one of the dream elements. Clear? So, if Brahman has projected a waking of 100 years, then that 100 years will have to be endured. Yeah? Means the consciousness will move in that motion for 100 years. If you are at a loss and you don't recognize consciousness at rest, you have wasted that opportunity of 100 years. You've really wasted it. Yeah. Why? Because if you don't recognize the background, which is consciousness at rest, you will accrue karma. Very simple. You will accrue karma. Now I'll go deeper into karma. When does karma leave a trace? When I start believing in this waking world to be separate and me to be Ekta, the body-mind. I don't believe myself, I don't see myself as the witness. I believe myself to be this body-mind because this is easily seen. And the unseen, I push under the carpet. No, I don't want to seem as if I am cuckoo. So that unseen is with me, always. You ask little kids, don't you feel there are some two eyes looking at you? This was the exact way I was taught when I was 7.5 years old. Don't you realize there are two eyes always looking at you? And I said to Nani, yes, I feel somebody is always there with me. Saying, yes, that somebody is you. This body-mind is not you, she taught me. If I can learn at 7.5, you can learn now. Recognize that. That is you. That witnessing awareness field is who I am. I am not this body-mind which appears at 5, 6 in the morning and disappears at 11, 12 in the night. How can I be that which is so impermanent? I am that which is knowing it. Start with this little step. Once you start here, you start recognizing that when I'm in the witnessing field, I feel as if I'm expanded. And whenever I believe to be the waker, I feel very contracted. I feel as if very heavy. So if you're feeling upset, you're feeling angry, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling sad, you're feeling unhappy, it is because you have started pretending to be this waker. Whatever, waker parent, waker child, or waker spouse, or waker something in the world. I don't know your title, chairman, CEO, most intelligent. The moment you start believing yourself to be the waker, you will start taking responsibility for all actions happening in the waking world. You will say, I am the doer. That's where you create your karma. When you say I am the doer, automatically there is I am the experiencer. There, karma. What is karma now? Karma means the moment I pretend I am doing this, when its fruit of action comes, I will say I am experiencing this. Both the doing and the experiencing, both are illusions, are imaginations. Yeah? Hence, the suffering that comes out of it is also imaginary. Yeah? This is Buddha's very important contribution to us, to mankind. Yeah? Sarvam evam dukkham. All this is dukkha. It's pain, it is suffering, it is misery. Why? Because I indulged and I said I am the doer. The moment I say I am the doer, I take on the fruit of that action and I say I am the experiencer. The biggest blasphemy is saying I am not the witness, I am the waker. This is the biggest blasphemy. This is where you went wrong. And hence you will accrue karma. Who is accruing karma? Can the waker accrue karma? What is the waker? We just discussed a few minutes ago. Isn't it just a body arising and a thought arising and a feeling arising? We just discussed this little while ago. Can an arising which appears and disappears accrue karma? No, it is I, the witness consciousness, that pretended to be the waker. I, the witness consciousness, accrue karma. Yeah. That is why it is very important in this verse that you recognize that very clear seeing of consciousness at rest and consciousness in motion. And consciousness in motion is like an imaginary dream. And the consciousness at rest comes and wipes it away, signaling to you again and again, look, it is imaginary. Look, it is impermanent. Look, it is dukkha. It is not yours. Don't get into doership. Don't get into experiencership. This is all being conveyed just by that viper of the now. Are you reading the message? That is the main question. Are you getting this message from the viper of the now? Oh, it's gone already. Can you take the stand of the witness and just observe the waker in its waking world operate automatically? This is the most important teaching of verse 2. Now you've started understanding what is wiping away. You've started understanding everything is just an arising, like a wave, it appears and disappears. When I forget my stand of consciousness at rest, I pretend to be one of the motions of consciousness, which is this waker, and I take doership and experiencership. I grasp onto it. It does not grasp onto me. Which means it's in my hand to release it. Yes, that is how karma will leave no trace. And how do I release it? Simply by recognizing the sacred nothingness. See, that viper of the now came and wiped this away. Who did it? Who's saying I'm the doer of this great action? It just got wiped away. Who's saying I am the experiencer of the results? It just got wiped away. That's how you start recognizing little by little. Some project goes perfectly in office, The boss comes and says, fantastic, great job. And for a moment there is this little wave that comes, feels good, and it disappears. And there is no more feeling good about it. But others are still clapping, people are coming and patting me on the back and congratulating me. And I'm supposed to feel that wave of happiness continuously, but I am not. Don't you recognize this? It's never a straight line. Mind says it should be a straight line. But reality is, the wiper of the now came and wiped away that little wave. It's gone. Do you recognize that truth? Yeah, happens with everybody. I'm not telling you something you don't know already, right? Yeah. Any accolade, any big promotion, any title, you got the best girlfriend, the best boyfriend in the world, your little kid comes and hugs you, anything, gives you a gift. 1 minute that wave lasts. It comes, it peaks and it goes. Why? Because the wiper of the now has come and done its job very well, wiped it away. And then you're like, I'm not feeling the happiness, but I need to pretend that I'm happy. Do you realize this? Now you have started accruing karma. Yeah, till the time you were ignorant, it was okay, you did not accrue karma. But now you know that you are the witness. Now you know that the consciousness comes and wipes away. Consciousness at rest comes and wipes away everything. And still I pretend. No. See, I'm happy. Yes, good. I am the best. There is nobody like me. You feel fake the moment you're talking like that. You feel fake to cut that cake and everybody enjoying. The whole environment becomes fake. Do you realize it? How many of you see it? The fakeness of it. Superb. 10 on 10. Those who see it, fantastic. Those who don't, you know you're lagging behind because you're not in weekly knowledge. Yeah? You have to immerse in the wisdom. You cannot say I should become a doctor by reading once in a week. No, you have to be constantly in that, day and night. Like that only. You have to be constantly in the spiritual wisdom. Otherwise even the wisdom comes and gets wiped away. Do you recognize that? Yeah? All the wisdom gets wiped away. That is why constant immersion is required. Yeah? Those who didn't raise their hands, we have to work a little harder to see this. Yeah? Then you start seeing, oh, everything is fake, everything is lies. And I'm pretending and I'm pretending and I'm pretending. And I'm pretending as if I'm going to derive some pleasure by faking it. And something inside me knows that no, there is no pleasure here. There is no pleasure in faking. But I continue to fake. Do you see that? Yeah, it's like a vicious cycle you're stuck in and you don't know how to get out. That's when you are accruing karma. That's when you're accruing karma. Yeah, very clear? Karma is because of doership. Karma is because of experiencership. If in that moment I recognize, no, I'm only the witness. Whatever happened in the waking world happened along with the waker. They are one, they are connected. And I am only knowing it. I have not received this accolade. I have not got this title. I, the witness, can never get titles. I can never get money. I can never get wealth. I can never get anything. I cannot receive. This recognition in that moment is sufficient. You withdraw. And that's where you cut the cord of karma. Now, karma doesn't leave a trace. That is the last line. Only then does karma leave no trace. Yeah. So the most important thing is, have you started recognizing this? The moment you withdraw from what you have projected, you cut the cord of karma. Why? Because you have projected it. Remember this. If the waker fails, you have projected it. If the waker succeeds and gets an accolade, you have projected it. You, the witness, have projected a desire. And you got caught up in that desire, like getting caught up in the dream. It is in your hands to withdraw and recognize, I am dreaming. The moment you recognize I am dreaming, the cord of karma is cut. Na karma lipyate nare, the last part of verse 2. Clear? So there is a deeper wisdom to this, which I will explain in the next verse, on recognizing how should I become very clear that this is not real and it is an illusion. And it is an illusion that I have projected, hence I have the strength to withdraw. All this comes in the next verse. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sit and recognize. Wherever you have had doership and experiencership and held on to it, you will notice a vicious cycle continue. The same thing repeats, the same pattern repeats in your life. Yeah, the same argument with the spouse, the same thing with the child. It has started repeating, it has started going round and round in a vicious cycle because I assumed doership and experiencership. And then in your only life, you will come to instances where you did not indulge in doership and experiencership. You naturally withdrew. And that did not continue, that cut off. Can you come up with 1 or 2 examples of each for yourself? Yeah. Take 5 minutes to write it down so that you become very clear before the viper of the now comes and wipes verse 2 away. Yeah. Take 5 minutes to write it, then take a 5-minute bio break, and then we'll go to verse 3.